Warning: the Surgeon General has determined that portions of this video contain verbiage that is known to cause extreme boredom. Adult supervision is recommended. Hold on to your chairs, boys and girls. It's time for another exciting episode of Vlog-O-Matic!
Hi there, my YouTube friends. It's your old buddy Ken Bank again, and I've got a treat for you this time, or at least in my opinion it's a treat. Let me tell you a little story. Last Saturday night, I had to go to Sacramento for a church fundraiser, and on the way up there, I was driving through Sacramento on the Madison Avenue in Sacramento. I stopped at a stoplight. Nothing out of the ordinary there, but something did strike me as out of the ordinary. For out of the corner of my eye, I saw Cyrillic lettering. Now, you know, it's not that common to see Cyrillic lettering, in other words, Russian or Ukrainian language, plastered up on buildings. But this was there. And I actually understood what the word was. It's Gastronom, which means food, or, you know, eat stuff to eat, gastronomic kind of thing. And I didn't have time to stop just then, but on the way home, I stopped. And boy, was I not disappointed. It turned out to be a store, a Ukrainian store, called Gastronom Kiev, that billed itself as a European store. And it had all sorts of imported products from Europe that were mostly from Russia and Ukraine. So they mostly have Russian language on the labels. Now, there are some that are distributed by American companies for the Russian expat, Ukrainian expat crowd over here, and they have both English and whatever. And anyway, let's get on with it. I bought a couple of things that I thought were really kind of cool. First thing that I want to show you is Wystrov brand, quick brand, of kasha obsyanaya, which I believe means oatmeal, with klubnikoi, with strawberries. And they're saying here on their little label, it says Menshye sakhara, bolshye vkus, which means less sugar, more flavor. Interesting. Now it's in packetized, and it has 10 packets, and it says 10 paketikov. The word for 10 in Russian is desyet. Desyet paketikov. Down here it says bez konservantov. No preservatives. So it's a natural product. And below that it even goes further. It says ne нужно varit, which means no cooking required. You don't have to cook it. Doesn't need to be cooked. Просто запить. Yeah, it's, you can just cook it directly, eat it directly. I think my read of the instructions had instructions in 3 languages: Russian, Ukrainian, and one other that uses Cyrillic, maybe Bulgarian, I don't know. But 3 different Cyrillic-based languages. But the instructions say you don't have to cook it, you don't have to boil it, is what they mean. You can just pour the contents of the packet into the bowl, and then pour in hot water, and then cover it with a dish, you know. Let it sit there for 3 to 5 minutes, and you have your oatmeal. That's a really nice one. I'm going to have to try that for breakfast. Another favorite of mine, of course, is borscht. And it just ties in lovely, because right now in my personal Russian language studies, I am learning about the voiced and unvoiced consonants. soft and hard, I guess. And this one here is the sh character, which in transliteration is almost always transliterated as an SH-CH sound combination. So it's a little bit of the sh and a little bit of the ch. But according to what I've read and my talking with other people, that's not how the Russians say it. It really isn't borscht. It's more like borscht, kind of an elongated sh sound. Interesting. So I'm gonna make a pot of borscht. This one, it says it has 4 portions. And then there's a word down here that I didn't translate, but I kind of understand what it means. Pa domashniu. Pa domashniu, which I translate as being like home cooking. That's what it means, I think. Like home cooking, because pa anything is like that, like pa-ruski is in Russian, and cook at home or something. Doma is the word for home. Anyway, that's how you learn languages. But one of the things that frustrated me about this package is, you know, on these things they have to have. I don't know if I have another one to show you. In this package of crackers, of cookies, they have pasted on an English language nutrition facts, which is required by law in this country. And they chose to put the nutrition facts in English right over the instructions. So I don't know if I have to add I don't know what I have to add. So that's interesting. So I have to I've already tried peeling it off, but the adhesive is so aggressive that it's very difficult to get it off. But I'll have to worry about that so I can see how to cook my borscht, and that's the borscht. Some of the recipes that I've looked at for Russian and Ukrainian food require something called buckwheat groats. Now, when I was doing some gardening when I was younger, we grew buckwheat and harvested it ourselves. But I went to the stores and I didn't see buckwheat of any kind, you know, just raw buckwheat. You can buy buckwheat pancake mix, but you can't just buy regular buckwheats. So they're called the groats. But this store had several, since it figures prominently in Eastern European food, they had several different brands of buckwheat groats. And I picked this brand. This one happened to be actually distributed by a Sacramento company called Euro Food Imports. But it's got a nice picture on the front of a Russian village with a church in the background. And it's very picturesque. I'll take a little picture of it for you and show it to you with my other camera. But on the front it says grechka, which I'm assuming at this point means buckwheat. So that's buckwheat groats. The other grain product that I bought is one that I've used before, and that's millet. And this looks like quite a nice little bag of millet here, package of millet, and it's all in Russian. Pretty much, yeah. Oh no, there's some English on the packaging in small letters, but these are what they call millet groats. And on the front it says pshena, krupa, and I don't know which one of those means millet, but one of those does. Anyway, this is another cereal grain that features very prominently in Russian and Ukrainian cooking, and I bought some of that. And I bought several different kinds of cookies, tea cookies. These are little tea cookies called Marias by a company called Spartak, which is Spartan in English. Maria cookies. They're just, you know, little tea cookies. Maria, and the packaging is in both English and Russian, which is giving me pause because I'm not sure what country you would be packaging these for. Maybe maybe the United States, because we've got a lot of Russian speakers over here now. But why would they need to have both English and Russian on the packaging? I don't know of any country other than the United States that has a population that would need that. So maybe these are specifically made for here. But even that said, they had to go ahead and put a stick-on nutrition facts, which leads me to believe that the package was originally not produced for the United States market, because if it was produced for the United States market, it would have had that on the package. But that notwithstanding, I'm going to try have these cookies with some tea. And then there's some other biscuits that are also labeled in both English and Russian, and these are ones that have that lead me to believe that these were packaged for the United States market, because the nutrition facts in English are printed right here on the side, along with ingredients lists in several different languages. We have English, Ukrainian, Russian, MLD. I don't know what that. KAZ, Kazakhstan, maybe. EST. It's interesting. So, oh, EST must be Estonian. Estonian language. Interesting. But these are biscuit golden rings. They're little, looks like butter cookies or some kind, and I'm going to try those. Then these are more traditional tea wafers, tea cookies. And they even have a picture of what looks like either a Russian tea on the cover. And these are please, which I think means prize. But those are going to be interesting. But here's my favorite. I know this word. Pechenye. Pechenye, one of the first words I learned in Russian. Pechenye. Cookie. Cookies, I even said. And this is another one of those Spartan brand products that has both English and Russian packaging, which is very interesting to me. And so these are Pechenye Limonaya, which is lemon cookies. So these are what I'm going to try first, because I love the name Pechenye. So we got all these tea cookies, so we had to get some tea. And I've got my little Samovar ready to go here. My little Samovar. Yes. Which is cooking away right now to make sure that I have water for my tea. So this little Samovar is going to help us. So we have a phone ringing. We'll wait. Well, we've got all these tea cookies, and so we have to have some kind of tea. So I bought some tea, and we're going to use my little Samovar here to heat up our water to make our tea. But this tea is black Russian tea. It's imported by a company in Sacramento. It's another importing company. I think I've been told anyway that there's a large population of Ukrainian expats in Sacramento, and this probably, having a multitude of companies importing this stuff is probably evidence of that. But this is Tsar Nicholas II black Russian tea. So this is what we're going to have tonight for our little tea extravaganza. So that's the cookies and that's the tea, and this is the Samovar. This is a Samovar that was given to me by a friend of mine who is originally from Ukraine. And it was a toy, Samovar, that was produced for the 1980 Olympic Games in Moscow, and was given out for that. Those were the games, if you'll recall, that the United States boycotted. So this is a little bit of history here, right here in the form of this toy Samovar. So on to the candies. I bought a couple of candy bars. Russian chocolate is intriguing to me. This one here is a bar called Vardetsky, something like that. They've got some very stylized text up here, and I'm having a hard time reading it. Vardetsky. Huh. Anyway, it's produced by a company called Babayevsky Chocolate Company. It's very nice. Chocolate. That's going to be interesting. But here's my favorite. I love this packaging. It's very, very, very stylish. It's but what caught my eye was the title, and it's even registered. Oh my gosh, a registered title. The name of this chocolate is Vdохновение, which is Russian for inspiration. And this particular bar is the Klassический Chocolate, which is classic chocolate. So I'm going to be interested in that one soon. This is this little piece of chocolate right here was given to me by the clerk. When I went in there, I told her that there was a lady behind the counter. She told me that she had been in United States for 20 years, and I told her that I was studying the Russian language with Dr. Hulaganov, and explained that I was really excited about all this Russian language stuff and all. And I mistakenly called it a Russian store. It really wasn't. It turns out it was a Ukrainian store. The name should have been a dead giveaway, Gastronom Kiev. But, you know, I was too excited to notice that right off the front, right at first. But I told her that I was learning Russian songs, and I had learned 5 Russian songs by memory. So I gave her a choice, and she chose to hear Podmoskovnya Vechera. I sang that, and then I also sang Katyusha. And for singing, she gave me this chocolate bar. And this is another Spartak product, Chocolate Flamingo. Yes, probably because it's pink. You didn't see the pink color? Flamingo. And it says Shokoladnoy, Shokoladnoy Nachinkoi. With chocolate filling, I think that's what that means. Chocolate Flamingo z Chokoladnoy Nachinkoi. You know, I never know where I'm supposed to put the stress. Is it Nachinkoi or is it Nachinkoi? Or is it Nachinkoi? Guess you have to learn. One more thing I need to show you before we do the tea, and that is my frozen purchase, which is in the freezer. Hang on. Another dead giveaway that it's a Ukrainian store and not a Russian store. I don't know if you can see these from there. I'll take a close-up of them with the other camera. These are vareniki. Vareniki are a Ukrainian dumpling. And they're filled with various things, usually potato or some meat. I chose to purchase potato vareniki. So here they are. And at some point in time, maybe when I make my borscht, I'll make the vareniki as well. So anyway, put these back in the freezer so they can remain frozen. And on with the tea. Well, I've got some hot water here. Let's see if we can make it hotter. While the water is heating up again, I'll bring out my actual key device. And we'll spoon in a couple of spoonfuls of that wonderful stuff. So let's see. Should be enough for me. There. Just gotta wait for the water to heat up. I think it's almost done. And it is. So here we go. So now we wait. We wait for the wonderful tea to steep. This little tea steeper is the first one of its kind that I've ever seen. I'm, being a typical American, I thought tea came in bags. One of my customers gave me this for Christmas. I'll give him a plug here. Demptos Napa Cooperage, one of the premier wine barrel making companies in the Napa Valley. There are several very outstanding barrel makers in our midst here in the wine country, California wine country, and they are one of them. Let it steep a little bit. I've got my cream, my little sugar, and we'll stick our little. While we're waiting for our tea, we're gonna open our pechenye. This is a real treat here. Oh, look at this. Let's move this over. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? Well, one of them's got, a couple of them are broken. Oh well, such is life, it's in shipment. But look, some of them are full whole. Look at that. A lovely wafer. It's got a lovely pattern on it. I'll show you that with the detail camera. Yes, indeed. Very nice. In fact, where is that camera? And I will take a detail shot of that for you. Perfect. It's nice. And this almost done? Just about. Take a picture of my flamingo. Chocolade flamingo. That's very good. Well, I'll take detailed shots of all these for you and intersperse them in the display, but I think my tea is now ready. So we'll put our little packet of sweetener in there. Not that I know that it needs it or not, but I'll just try it this way first. Looks beautiful. Now the joy of this is you just put it over the top of the cup, and it goes right through the filter and into the cup. Ooh, it smells lovely. Smells lovely. A little cream. Shot of that. Now I guess if I was really Russian, I'd put some cinnamon on top of that or not. But I'm not really Russian, so that's the way it goes, folks. Okay, here we go. very good. Chai с печеньем. Now, if I was really going to do this Russian style, instead of putting this packaged sweetener in, I would have put varenium. So chai с varenium. But I don't have any varenium. I have to get some. And what is varenium, you ask? Probably, I need to say it nominative if I use it that way. Darn those tenses. I mean, darn those cases. Varenia, I guess it's varenia? Varenaya? Anyway, I know them as varenium, which is probably instrumental, but it's some sort of a fruit conserve, not necessarily a jam as we would know it here in the United States, but something similar, maybe a tad bit more runny with the fruit in it. That's how it was explained to me. And it could be made from cherries or strawberries or some kind of a berry, but they put it in right into the tea as the sweetener. It's a very fragrant and flavorful tea. Very nice. So, here's my samovar. I'm bringing my tea with my samovar. Isn't that nice? So, bon appetit. I guess I'm switching from Russian to French here. My only consolation is that the French, there's a lot of borrowed words from French in Russian. Let's try the mariage. Right there. Tea biscuits. There you go. There you go, look at that. Oops, wrong button. Here's my little samovar. It's very nice. So, Maria, these are like little, almost like arrowroot. They're just little crackers. They remind me of a hard cookie cracker like you'd give to a baby for teething. They're not unpleasant, actually. Maybe they're meant for dunking. That worked. На здоровье, товарищи. До свидания.
This has been a Hugusamus Films production.